Ashika.
Hi, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. You're still not being able to see the classes, right?
No, I told Angel,
Yeah.
but the messages haven't gone through to her. Like there's just a single tick.
Oh, okay. Because today I received a call from Open House asking me about this, so I told them again. So
Mm-hmm.
they said that these problems will be resolved. So hopefully they get to it soon. But till then, at least we are being able to manage with this
Yeah,
method.
yeah.
That's fine. If we are not able to see the classes at all, that is going to be a problem. Okay. All right. So unfortunately, last class we had to stop midway.
Yeah.
So we're gonna pick it up today. Hopefully today my internet doesn't, it usually never does, but recently there have been again a lot of network problems that we are having in our area. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's firstly because of the weather, because we always have these thunderstorms during this
Mm-hmm.
time. So it could be because of that, or it's simply just they are messing with us, wanting us to pay more
Yeah.
money. That could also be another reason. By the way, how are things in Bangalore? Because I know the
Uh,
lockdown is announced.
it's terrible. Yeah. So there's lockdown now again
Yeah,
till May 10th.
right. So that's
So
like anyway you were under. I mean, your building
my
was under.
apartment was under. Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're again. I mean, even the entire state is under lockdown. That's even I have a few
Exactly.
friends who are living there. So they were
Mm-hmm.
also saying the same thing. That it is a bit difficult. This
It's
time
just like
it
the
seems even
same 1 year cycle. We ended up in the same place.
same place exactly. I mean, it's like nobody learned anything from the
Anything,
last year.
yeah.
It
Or I
just
feel like maybe because of last year's lockdown, everyone's just they're like, we already had some like a 6 month thing, and now we're not going to
exactly.
do anything. So in between, they just got really careless.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's that moment when the numbers started going down, and then people were like, "It's over, it's done with." I think we don't have
Yeah.
to worry about it anymore. Especially after the vaccine started rolling out, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people just said, just accepted that okay, now that the vaccine is here, nothing is going to happen to us, and we can just chill and relax. And I think that's what made this even worse. So
Exactly. They
yeah,
start roaming without masks and
yeah, I
masks.
mean everybody was roaming around without even all these places, like recently I was hearing some news about these tourist spots. They had just stopped all quarantine measures and all social distancing and every other precaution that we had to take. There was no sanitizers available at these places. I mean, even till very late, me and my friends, the last time that we went out, as far as I remember, we were taking the precautions in the sense that we were carrying our own sanitizers and everything, but there was nothing in the store for them to give to us. I mean, usually they
Yeah.
always have a bottle of sanitizer kept on the table nowadays, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or they are, not letting people sit in two adjacent tables and all of that. All of that is gone. Everybody is. I mean, it's overcrowded again. People are not wearing masks. Everything is the usual. So I think that's what led to this. People
Led to this exactly, and it's like maybe this one person not doing it properly just affects like everyone now.
everyone exactly that is even worse, right? I mean, I think yeah, again I saw the numbers. One person is capable of infecting almost up to like I don't know how many people. They said like 40 people or something at one go if they don't stop, because that's how transmissible this new variant is.
Variant, yeah.
Even a slight chance of you getting, which is why the amount of like now I have not stepped out, I think, since last week. I haven't gone anywhere. And even if I do have to at some point, I have told, of course it's always me who goes out. I don't let my mother or my sister go out. So when I step out, I have also thought that I'll do the double masking thing, because one mask is also not enough nowadays, it seems like. It is so,
Mm.
and it is so easily. And what happens is, because of all the masks and the cloth masks, they kind of get a little loose, or even the surgical masks are not really that well fitted, and that is also really bad. So now they are suggesting to double mask up and everything. It's just getting
Yeah,
worse year by year.
exactly. I mean, until people really like work towards getting better. Like if they're going to stay selfish, then this is never going.
And then it's really sad that people are still selfish. I mean, there are so many people who are, suffering. There is such a lack of resources, and yet people are enjoying the, things like the IPL, or things. They are going on holidays. The ones who are privileged enough to do so, they are going on holidays. It's like, as long as it doesn't affect me, I shouldn't be bothered about it, kind of, a sort of a mentality people are having, which is
Mm.
even more sad to see. Usually when people are in a collective crisis, it's supposed to bring out the humanitarian side.
My, exactly.
Yeah, but apparently now it's completely changed. It's like it brings out the actual selfish natures of people even more, it seems like, nowadays.
And it's like, I mean, with India, to be honest, like I've never really seen much humanity or like much working together. Everyone's just like me, myself. Like that's
Yeah,
all I
yeah,
can
and
remember.
even with recent years, this us and them thing has happened even more. Like we are better and they are worse, and when we have to be away from them, this whole, whether it is in regards of your community or your caste or your religion, there is a lot. I mean, which was not very prevalent before, but in recent years I'm seeing it's growing even more now, and I don't know where we are headed. We are supposed to
Exactly.
become a better society, not a worse one, but it seems
Mm.
like we are heading towards that side. It's
And
really
it's,
sad.
yeah, it's just tough to say anything because like I mean, even the government, as much as they try or whatever, I mean, like people are still suffering and
Yeah,
still dying.
you
So
know,
there
the elections out here. So recently we got some news that if there are COVID positive patients who are at home, let's say, and they want to vote, so the election commission has actually given them a time bracket that if you want to vote, we are giving you time. You come and vote. So it's like for them that is what's important. We have been told that if one party comes to power, they have promised that if they come to power, then we will give you vaccines for free. So it's like our health is literally at the stake
yeah,
of winning. It's like nothing else matters. And to read about such news, we used to see all of these things in TV shows and stuff, but it's actually happening in real life,
happening.
which is very scary to think about.
And for them, it's like all we care about is who wins and what is happening. Like we just
Yeah,
want
who
your
gets
vote, and
power?
after that,
Yeah,
what happens to you, we're not in charge of it.
we
We
are
die
not really
with it.
interested. Absolutely, we can see that, right? Like they really do not care because they have raised the prices of the vaccines, which was
Mm.
supposed to have been given out for free once upon a time. They are charging exorbitant rates. I mean, and I recently, so you must have seen, right? People are scouting on social media, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody who has some idea is trying to help. I recently saw some news that plasma donors, there are some plasma donors who are literally kind of they're charging money. So they are like, I will only donate if you pay me a certain amount of money. So it's like that. They are directly reaching out to the patient's family, and they are saying, I will give you, but you have to, it's like literally, it's like your child's life or your life is at in my hands. So if you pay me money, I'll give you plasma. So how is it happening? Because aren't they thinking it in the sense that maybe tomorrow you are in their place, and if somebody did this to you, how would that affect you? But apparently it's not happening. There are men who are taking advantage of women's numbers being online, and they
Mm-hmm.
are sending inappropriate messages and photos to people who are looking for help, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that's happening, then you have I also learned that there are people who are charging almost I think there was a drug which is available for 900 in the market. Somebody was charging 20,000 rupees for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, I have it, I'll give it to you, but you have to give me 20,000, because that's how it is. So
Yeah, I mean, now even with people getting admitted in hospitals and all, it's like, you know what, like you give me this much and then
I
I'll
will
give
provide
you
everything.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So everyone's still in the thing of I want to make money, money. Like they just
Yeah,
don't
I
care.
how are they even thinking? That is what's going beyond me. Like me being a student of psychology and understanding the human mind, this is also beyond me. It's not, I am also not being able to figure out how or what is it that's motivating them to behave like this? It is
Exactly.
simply not making sense. It's really, really very disappointing. Very scary to say the least, if this is where we are heading.
Exactly. And no one's doing anything about it, and that's the worst part. It's just like, because, I mean, I don't know, it wasn't supposed to be like this. Like, of course, it's not supposed to be like this, because
Absolutely not. I
people just,
mean, the you know, when the news first came out of the, remember I told you, right, that when the news came out of the exams getting postponed again, and you know whether what was going to happen, I remember this argument or this discussion I'd had with my friends also, where I had told them that last year was sudden, last year was unexpected, and even then the exams had already started. It's not like the exams had not happened at all. It was midway, and then different protocols were taken at, for like almost like emergency basis, like we have to do it, otherwise there is no option. So last year was a very special kind of a scenario. I get it. After that you had an entire year to
mm,
plan for
exactly.
different options. Okay, ideally we want an offline exam where people will go to the school and everything, but what if, how is it that people did not think of what if scenarios is what is not
Yeah, and especially considering now also, like, I mean, I don't know
yeah,
about NIOS, like, they still haven't given us the date out, and I don't know what they'll say towards the end, because originally our board exams are March, April, right? So, but
exactly, and April's over.
yeah, and now it's like June, and I don't know what they did last year was in fact very terrible. Till the like last moment, they kept
They
postponing it, and
kept
they
on
waited for
postponing.
it to go to Supreme Court, and then they cancelled
Yeah,
it.
and then they cancelled it. Exactly, exactly. And I really don't know what they're going to do this time, which is even more. That's what I'm saying, right? They are literally holding people's lives, people's futures at stake, and the reason this time is, why people are accepting, I don't know, but this time you shouldn't, because they should have been accountable, right, that you had so much time to come up with
Mm.
different kinds of options and scenarios and everything, to think about all of them. That's why you have the money to hire people to do that for you, to think of all the different options that you can choose, and yet you didn't do anything. So I mean, I know it's easier said than done, no doubt, of course, handling over 3 lakh students and 5 lakh students across the country is not a joke, I get it, but you have to think of some plans, some contingencies, and also keep it transparent. Not like we'll have a small board meeting and not let anybody know, and only in the last minute we'll release something. What is going to happen anyway? You give out marks easily.
Hmm.
Everybody gets like over 90 to 95% nowadays. There is hardly
Exactly.
any differentiation in marks. You're anyway you're letting everybody go. So how is this secrecy or this kind of game that you're playing with their futures is going to help? I really don't.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know about other countries. Maybe they deal with it in a better, smarter way. Like they care about everyone. But with
Right.
India, it's like they just don't get it. All
They
they
don't.
want is exams and marks. And even now, it's like we don't care if you die. Like one of my friend was
Yeah.
saying, like they might have exams offline or something, and I'm like,
Oh
how
my
is that
god.
possible?
How exactly? So another a relative of mine, not mine, my friend's relative, she's a college professor, and it is even my sister's college. They are, I mean, the classes are all happening online. Okay, so they are attending it from their homes, but the professors have been asked to go to college and teach. So their explanation is because the resources are better at home. Definitely you do not have all the resources, you do not have the bandwidth, and okay, I understand. And they had been asked to go to the college, but when the cases were rising, they did not close down the college. That was still open, and the teachers continued going, and then the teacher tested positive, one of the teachers tested positive. So and I remember my friend's relative also faced the same scenario. She's also a college professor. She also had to go to her college to teach, and their reasoning is our college campus is huge and there's a lot of social distancing. But the fact is that person is having to travel from their home to the
Mm.
college. What about that journey? You're not going to be liable if the person contracts it during that journey, right? I mean, and not everybody has the means to travel in a private vehicle, or
Private. Yeah.
right. So yeah, that's what happened, and of course, nobody's going to take responsibility for it, right? That nobody's going to say, okay, fine, I asked you to come, so which is why when my office asked me to go, although my office is like 15 minutes from here, I can, if I were to take an Uber, I could have taken it. There is an office bus as well, which most of the people are availing even now. But I still did not take that risk, because there are a lot of people who are COVID positive in the campus.
Yeah.
So then why should I put myself at risk? It's as simple as that. And nobody should force you either. That is, I've been lucky enough that my office did not force me to go. That no, you have to, or else we won't pay you, or something like that. But
Mm.
it should be up to you, right? Whether how comfortable you feel.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are only caring about their own businesses and their money and their profits.
Exactly. It hasn't changed. It's the same.
It's the it's like more blatant and on your face right now. Like
And it's obvious, like now there's nothing that you can expect. Like
yeah,
you can't see a better India after this
you
point. And for
can't.
the future generations, honestly, like to be fair to say, they'll just be doomed at this point. Like
Yeah, that's literally. I mean, when people say that you have to look up to your children to do something, I mean, the amount of pressure the upcoming generation would be having to make this better. I mean, firstly, improve from where we are and make it better. That's some massive pressure, which I don't think any upcoming generation should be given at this point in time. But that is what they're growing up seeing, and it's really
mm,
really sad. It's really sad. I really don't know where we are going to go. But I just hope everybody stays safe. I'm just, glad that at least the people that I know in and around me are being cautious enough to stay at home and take
yeah,
precautions.
yeah.
So yeah, but there are people who are having to step out. They have no option. And I just pray that they just stay. They are able to protect themselves as much as they can. I mean, that's all that we can think of.
It's just bad to think about because I mean, life was so normal once upon a time.
It seems so long ago, right? That that things was like we could step out without having to think.
Close the door. Sorry, one second.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing, right? Nowadays we can't even think of stepping out of the house without thinking, oh, have I taken my sanitizer? Am I wearing my mask correctly? Whether everything is in place, how we're going to go if anything happens between. So many things to think about, and there was a time when we could just step out of the house and not worry.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, the only worry was traffic. That's all that we had to worry
And
about.
even getting sick or like there was nothing honestly. And
And
even traveling, be it like flights or anything, it was just
just
normal. Like
like it
all
was just
everyone was
normal,
was
exactly.
fun, but now it's like you go anywhere, there's a face shield, there's a mask, and there's
So many things to think about, right?
and the fact is like China started it off, and now China has literally not spoken a word.
Yeah, and they are fine. They just had 1 lakh cases. I mean, the most populated country in the world, and they only had. I mean, they were so easily able to contain it, or how did they do it? God only knows. But they just had 1 lakh affected cases, and then most of them survived out of that, and the rest of the
And
world is
now it's not them that's suffering; it's literally
the rest of,
everyone
yeah.
else.
I mean, literally, it's India who is suffering the most
The
right now.
most right now, yeah.
Sad, really sad state of affairs.
I mean, and people that like don't deserve. I mean, so there are people that have deaths in their families, and they can't even do anything with the body. They just have to sit there with it, right?
They're just sitting there with it. Yeah, there
So
there are
it's so
places.
sad because I mean, no one has to go through that. I mean,
No, exactly. No one deserves to go that. Honestly speaking, really, really, it's that's
yeah.
really true.
And then hospitals are like, we won't take you, we won't do this, that, and
Hospitals are denying patients, and it's so sad that the doctors are like, we want to help you, we just can't because we don't have the resources. And
Mhm.
recently I saw another news which said that other countries, the people, they they are like everywhere abroad. There are such they have such good health care, and they have such, the
Yeah.
government does so much for them. What we don't realize is because out there people have actually demanded for it. They have said that you have to, we are paying the taxes, we are paying a huge amount of taxes. Yes, see, definitely it's not very easy to compare India to them because there's a big gap, regarding the population, regarding salaries, regarding taxes, all of it, whatever be it. But the fact is, out there, if it's a democracy, and if the people demanded it, they said that we want this, you have to give it to us, the government obliged. Out here, to think about it, nobody has ever taken that sort of a stand. The people as a whole, there is so much variability in people's thinking and thoughts, that there has never been any unity in any kind of demand that we wanted. Nobody has demanded healthcare as a whole. Nobody
Mm.
has demanded for, very like emergency services to be, at par, like everything has to be at the top of the line. Nobody has thought of it. The whole Indian mentality is like, we'll manage. हो
Mm.
जाए. It's like that. That is a problem, because the moment they're like, anyway the government doesn't do anything, why should we ask for it? Because of this, we have had this. That's why the government has taken so much. It has become so powerful because they know that they will never challenge us. If we as the people together, like, can you imagine if suddenly for the elections, every person says we won't vote? What will you do? Right? They're like, we will not bring any party to power. So automatic, but there's so much corruption, there is so much everything happening at different levels, that this it's very difficult, which is why they are becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. They are not having that, uh,
Mm.
you do not have the strength to fight and tell them that this is what we want, give it to us. I mean, can you imagine? Otherwise, people are literally scouting on social media. I would rather rely on those sources than go to the government for any help, because the government doesn't help.
Government won't do anything. I mean, and I feel like even if we really do like voice out our opinion even as a whole, they'll just be like, we can't do anything. Like you guys are just. I mean, we aren't at power. We're just citizens. So if we go sit.
Exactly. That is the thing, and there has never been. So there has to be some sort. I mean, now we are at a stage where we really need one such a unifying force, where probably by the next, it's already what, it's been 2 years. I think we have 3 more years. I really don't know how we are going to handle that. But I think
Mm.
last election was in 19, so 2021, 2024. So 24 is going to be the next election. And honestly speaking, once the situation gets to some kind of stability, they should demand some sort of a, like, uh, either like some sort of a reshuffling, some sort of a change, something major to happen. I mean, out here, the Supreme Court, right, the judiciary is separate from the government. They are not being able to do anything. They are also like in the hands of the politicians, and that is not how it's supposed to be. That is really not how it's supposed to be. So unless there is some sort of a revolutionary change, we don't see anything. We really don't see anything happening for the better. That is the sad part.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like I mean, it's cost a lot also. Like so many people missing things, and it's like memories of a lifetime also, which just went down the drain.
I know. It's. I don't know. It's very strange. I mean, the pandemic. I mean, a pandemic is not something somebody would want in their lifetime. Definitely,
Mm.
that's not something that you would want to remember. But with us, I mean, when the news, I mean, even me, I think any person, I don't know, there were some people who were very idealistic, but when you think of a pandemic happening, you have to have it in mind that it's going to have an effect for at least of 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
It's pretty natural. That's how science works. For you to be able to get some sort of stability, some sort of consistency in all of it, definitely it's going to take some time. You cannot there were so many people who just thought that the moment the clock turns to 2020, the the virus will vanish, kind of a thing. there were people having such idealistic opinions, and educated people having such idealistic opinions, which is again also very sad to see. That I mean, the entire education has been of a waste, because
Yeah, exactly.
anybody can see that this is going to take time to go. You don't. We still have the chickenpox virus, and we still have the polio existing. It's just that people are not getting affected by it, but the virus exists very much so. Chickenpox does affect people still, but the fact is, it's not a pandemic. So if for a pandemic to become like, individual cases, you have to have a very strict protocol of bringing it down. If you live your life as if nothing has happened, then definitely it is not going to work. But I think all of these, little factors together, they all played a huge role in making this scenario the way it is. So I really don't know.
It was all planned to be started and it didn't come by this guy just eating a bat or and so it's just I don't know what it's aiming at. Like you just want to wipe out the whole population or
I
just
really don't know. It seems it's a friend of mine even compared it to, the Avengers and, the Thanos snap, where the 50% of the population was decimated. So that was how the movie goes. The main villain, he had the power of these Infinity Stones, and the Infinity Stones could, at the snap of one finger, if you collected all of the stones, and if you had all of them with you, then and if you were to just snap your fingers, 50% of that particular world's population would disappear. And going by the way things are going right now, it actually seems like that. It looks very much like,
mm,
something that you'd watch in a movie. It seems like one of those apocalypse kind of movies that you see, right? People,
mm,
deserted places, and people wearing these, kind of almost like those protective suits and everything when you walk out. It seems like it's literally seems right out of a movie. So
exactly and it's just scary because I mean
people are having a really hard time to associate this with reality, because it's so out there. It is so different from what you would expect. That I think that is probably why people are having so much difficulty in accepting it. There's a lot of denial happening. And ye ho nahi sakta. It can't be this bad.
mm,
It's just a story. It's just like in the movies. It's not actually. It's something probably not real. We are making it bad, but it's actually that bad, and that is the truth.
it's just tough to think of.
I know, very tough to think of. Your lockdown is till when? Till the 18th, you
May
said?
10th, May 10th.
The 10th. Okay,
Mm.
okay. Two weeks.
Yeah, 2.
2 weeks. That's like the period, normal
And then
period.
eventually they'll extend it again because no one will, nothing will happen.
I think our results are going to be out on the 2nd of May. So you can imagine that, yeah, by the time your first lockdown will end, probably ours is going to start. So, because I think otherwise there's no way to control this. But the problem is with the lockdown, again, there's going to be the issue of the economy and people's jobs and salary.
Yeah. And mainly everyone just lost it. Like just no one can even like bear sitting at home. I mean, obviously there are people
Yeah,
telling you're lucky to sit at home and because there's so many of
exactly.
others are suffering. Like that's understandable. But at a point, for you guys have your reality, and for us, this is our reality.
Yeah, exactly.
Just tough. I mean, and my dad was saying how like if this lockdown wasn't done last year, then how it is now would have been there last year. But last year, since it was like a whole world sort of a thing. So
Yeah,
it got controlled, and now probably we're at this state because of the lockdown last year.
that's true. That is
But
true.
but then with the oxygen and everything, now it's like it's even worse than last year.
It is,
So
it is, it is. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is so strange, because when I now see like last year when I was opening my social media, it was the same story across the world. Everybody is asking you to mask up. Everybody is asking you to stay at home. Everybody is going through a lockdown. And now when I open, it's like all these Indian people are posting like we are in dire conditions, and everybody else abroad are doing just fine because they have all
fine.
kind of overcome it. and it is so depressing to see, because I
Yeah.
mean, you and you would expect help to come in, or you would expect some sort of because it has always been the other way around. We have always seen some country suffering, and we are,
Mm.
we go like, I'm sure they are being helped, or there's something being done for them. But now we realize what exactly happens. When one country, they're like, oh, now you have not been able to manage, it's your problem, we are not going to,
Yeah.
we have to look after our people.
And it's like with the countries that even came out of it, of course it was, I mean, it wasn't, I don't think it was this bad for them. And also even if it was, they were like sensible about it. They talked
Absolutely,
about it and they
absolutely.
have good
I mean,
governments
even with,
now.
we were making fun of the US people, because they were these people who were like no masks. There were these group of people that went out having these huge ass protests about not wearing masks, and how it's constrict. They have the right to breathe. This was their their protest slogan, that you cannot take away our right to breathe. We should be able to breathe. You cannot mask us up. It's just a propaganda and all of that. And we were making fun of them, that, oh my god, they don't even have this basic sense, because at that point USA had the highest number of cases.
Mm.
And look at USA now. I mean, they are having places where, but they have been able to control it in spots, and
Yeah.
otherwise everything is happening pretty normally in the
I mean,
US.
they're just enjoying, like, they're back to their old, living life thing. I mean, it doesn't
Yeah,
affect them. It's so is the
absolutely.
same with other countries. It's literally just India right now.
Absolutely. I mean, when they like places like, I recently saw Israel was the country to announce themselves to be COVID free. So they had vaccinated the majority of their population firstly, and they also did not have any active cases of COVID. So they, easily announced. Australia and New Zealand have done it long back.
Mm.
Italy, which was doing so badly, they overcame. USA is fine, and India is like, it's in a horrible, horrible condition.
Exactly. That's why my friends are all saying, like, let's just leave this place because we don't know what India is tomorrow. Like, it can change in
Seriously,
like one
seriously.
night, in fact.
True, absolutely true. But yeah,
And
that's
there's
what that's what should happen. Suddenly, if there's this huge surge of people leaving the country, or they are like, we will not abide by any of the rules given by the government.
mm,
Unless, that's what I said, right? Unless the people of the country take some stand as a unit, that either we will leave, or we will not do all of it. We will not pay taxes, or we will not. But it has to be done as a collection. It cannot be like one group of people doing, because the government will erase them, literally erase them. that's
yeah,
that's what's the scenario. It has to be as a unit, and the moment that starts to happen, because the government has to realize that they are also part of us. They are no special entity who has power over us. But the whole idea of a democracy has been lost.
exactly. I don't think it's ever been followed.
No, never. It's still better. I mean, during when I was a school student, even though I understood very little of politics, of course, even now, honestly, I don't understand all of it. But whatever little I understood back then, this was not how bad the scenario was. There was still, there was still some respect. Of course, there were whole parties, and parties having rivalry and all of that. Definitely, opposition and power and all of it. Everything was there, but people had respect for each other. If one party had a senior leader, the opposition party would never disrespect them or try to bring them down. They would, when you would have these Lok Sabha sessions, it was held with decorum. There was, people spoke with sense and all of that. And now it seems like a fish market. I mean, we are able to conduct ourselves better, I
Yeah,
think, than these people. They have no regard for other people. They do not know how to speak with respect. So it's very
exactly.
simple, right? Children learn from their elders. That's something we've learned. Remember, I had only taught you
Mhm.
that we learn. They are our role models. So the way they speak, the way they behave, we learn from them. How do adults learn? They, when you grow older, you have certain role models. Either they are celebrities, sports stars, politicians.
Mhm.
For a lot of them, it's politicians. So if a politician speaks like that, automatically the person also starts believing if he can do that, I can do that.
Yeah,
And that is exactly how this whole notion of hate and being rude and being disrespectful grows. And that is what we are seeing happening. It is very much happening in front of our eyes, and still people are not being able to realize it.
exactly.
It's very,
And
very
you to see now, it's like the future of India is like, no one can in fact imagine it also because it's
that
just
whether there's going to be a future at any point in
I
time,
exactly that's also there.
that
So
we
people are just
really
like this is probably just heading to the world ending. So just just I've just
it
lost all
seems
hopes
like
on
that.
everything.
Actually, you don't want to make plans, you don't want to think of anything because you don't know whether it's going to be there.
Yeah,
It is literally where we have come to, and it's really, really depressing to think about.
exactly.
I had one, so random. My contact number is there on some. I think it is there on some. Uh, Probably on some kind of like a collated page for resources for psychologists. Okay, so it's about all kinds of people who have a background in psychology. I think my contact number. I had my profile put up there some time back. So I used to get calls sometime or the other asking for contacts and stuff and everything. And I recently got a message yesterday, from this person, and this person goes like, "I need, uh, I got your number from this page." So I was like, "Can you tell me what it's regarding?" So this person is like, "For counseling." So I was like, see, I'm not a practicing counselor, but yeah, I can definitely direct you to somebody because I know people. So then they're like, oh, no, no, it's okay. I will search on Google, but thank you so much for responding. And then I'm saying, no, no, it's okay. I do know people. It's just that I don't practice, but I have seniors, I have other colleagues who are practicing, and they are licensed, they are qualified people, and I can get you their numbers. So I said I send them two of my seniors whom I know well. I send this person their numbers, and then this person goes like, they must be expensive, right? So I said no, they are at affordable rates.
Mm.
So you can definitely don't think about the price and give them a call. Give them a call, have a word, and then discuss it. I'm sure they will. They are not the kind of people, oh, you have to pay. Tabhi I'll treat you or something. They are flexible that way. So I that's what I've realized, that maybe I have somebody has reached out to me. I'm sure there are so many other people reaching out for help for mental health reasons, because it is
Mental.
affecting everybody's mental, myself included. People have this notion that if you study psychology you don't have mental health problems,
Ah,
you get saved from mental health issues forever. That is so not true. But I myself have been having so much trouble, and I'm just really happy that I have friends to check up on me, or I have friends to talk to, and
yeah.
to kind of distract myself. And same with my mom, with my sister. We have things to keep us kind of distracted from this whole thing. But there are so many people suffering, and there's so much, and I feel like I'm not being able to do anything. And the thing is, I have always had this thing that if I'm not being able to help somebody, I would rather stay away and let others help, because I feel
Mm.
that if I come in and create more ruckus, it's going to be even
Yeah.
right. So, and I'm seeing so many people sharing so many resources and calling up people and everything, and I've been like, you know what? Let me just take a step back, because seeing all of that is making me really morbid, because it's
Yeah.
like, what has this world come to? I don't even know this person, and this person is willing to give up their blood for me. It's like that. So it seems kind of uplifting, I would say, hopeful, but also pretty morbid to think about.
Yeah.
So that is where I am at. So I must be wondering everybody else. There are people who anyway have mental health issues. On top of that,
Exactly.
there's a pandemic. On top of that, this is whole scenario literally breaking apart in front of them. So I must say it's really bad. So I'm
To
just glad
think
that
of
there are.
yeah, like to think of such things. I mean, especially, I mean, like there might be so many suffering. I mean, and many of them wouldn't want to speak out. Also, some people, they wouldn't ask for help because they're just like, oh, you know what? No, I'm strong. I can face it by myself, sort of a thing. And there are
Exactly.
the ones that suffer, and like, no one even knows. No one can even think of it. So,
Exactly.
even at this moment, it's like you don't know who's suffering, who's not. I mean,
Who's
except for your
not?
close friends, your
Yeah,
close
and I recently saw, I think UNICEF had put out this video about the social ostracizing that people are facing. The moment you hear that, oh, they are COVID positive, oh, we have to step away from them, we cannot, we, and it's so strange. I mean, come on, they are, like, it's not like they have willingly brought the virus to themselves. You have to maintain a distance, that's true, but that doesn't mean you treat them as outsiders and untouchables. Like, literally, that's what it is. And they had to put up a video stating that don't do that, if and the video was pretty, it went, it's a cartoon video, and it goes like, there is this family in a society who gets affected, and everybody stops talking. Like, they self isolate, they spend 14 days, and they get the report that they are COVID free. But even after they get the report of being COVID free, their local, grocery place, or their, the milkman, the postman, and these people, they just maintain their distance from them. They don't talk to them, they don't help them. Everybody is, maintaining like this sort of like a, they're like, oh my god, we cannot go near you, kind of a thing. And then another family gets affected, okay, in the same apartment. And then the same people who were shouting at these guys who are now COVID free, everybody's treating the same way with them. Nobody's talking to them, nobody's going to their house. The grocery store, even though she's calling up the grocery store person to send the food, he's not agreeing and all of it. So then she's like really sad, and then she hears the doorbell, and she sees the family that she was kind of ostracizing. She has sent home cooked food for her, and throughout those 14 days they help this family, and then they realize, that what we have done and how wrong it is and everything. But unfortunately, that is what's happening now.
And
There are people hiding the fact that they are COVID positive for fear of being treated like this. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, everything that we are seeing is like the worst side of humanity in every
exactly.
respect. In every respect.
And just people are just running away from the fact that, I know, like, they will test positive, but then they'll be like, no, how can it be? I'm not positive. How
I
will
didn't do
the,
anything. Yeah, it must be.
yeah,
They try to
they
such
just
things like
deny
someone
it.
must have done it. There's a blame game thing happening. Why did it happen to me? What if something happens? Where have we come to?
Exactly. I mean, it's just weird because one day was all normal and suddenly was like the next
I
day
mean,
was like
now
mass
to think of it,
numbers.
having somebody sit next to you is also like a panic-stricken thing, right? To sit
Mhm.
next to somebody is also scary. What if I brush against someone? That has also become like a scene for panic, right? I mean, when I go to till the last week when I last stepped out, and I remember going to the store, even when I would just cross somebody, I used to get so panic stricken. My panic was not by the fact that why would this, what if this person infects me. It was more like, if I bring it back home, then I will put other people at risk. And that is what scares me even more. Because I remembered I was at the store, and there was a person, I really felt like shouting at that real, I mean, I really held back my temper at that point. There was a man, he literally had his mask down and coughing out. I mean, what is the whole
Oh
point of
my
the mask?
God.
Why are you wearing the mask? And I could make out from his coughing that it was a proper, like, somebody who's sick, not the, because you're having some sort of, like, you're choking, or it's like your dry throat or something. Not that. You could make out that the person was ill, and it was like a cough because of some illness, and he was doing that. Thankfully, somebody from the store told this person, please pull up your mask, and if you're coughing, please cough into your mask, not
Exactly.
inside. Like, what is the whole point then? So,
Exactly.
yeah, so that is that. And after that incident, I got so panic stricken. I was like, I'm not stepping into that store now, at least for some time.
We
And that
just
is
see
that.
like vegetable vendors and things, tested positive, and it's vegetables. Like if you touch the vegetables and someone buys that, then they're at risk and things.
Exactly. I mean,
And
what
and then I'm like, okay, they might have shut it down, but apparently they did only a 1 day sanitization thing. I'm like, that's not helping in any way.
no. Oh my god, I really, really don't know. Uh, it's really bad. I mean, I think we have to bear through this at least till June, July, maybe at least for the next 2, 3 months. They're anyway saying that it's going to hit some sort of a peak by the
Third
month of
wave
May.
also again. Yeah, I mean, and if this is so bad, the third wave is like,
I think then that's going to
people
be
of
the
India is
situation.
not going to be there anymore. Like at this rate.
Then probably we have to like stay inside and close all our doors and windows because it's going to be airborne. That's what they have said. It's almost airborne now. So what they are saying is now, if you're in a closed space, right, and there is poor ventilation, even if a person is 6 feet away from you, right, and he coughs or sneezes or whatever, he will be able to infect you. That is how airborne. Earlier it wasn't. Earlier it was heavier, right? So they said that if you maintain distance, even in a closed space, it will drop down. So it will not reach you. But now it has become airborne. So even staying inside a closed room is scary. It's that bad.
I mean, when the news was on a few minutes ago, and they were just like, "You need to wear masks at home." I'm like, what?
Yes. Yes, that's what I heard recently as well, that you have to wear masks at home. I mean, I really don't know where we are going because if that's going to happen, I don't know. I suppose all
Yeah.
of us have
I
to now.
mean, I remember seeing one advertisement like this was, I think, when I was younger. I don't know why I still remember it, but it was of
Okay.
these people that were wearing masks because the earth was out of oxygen. So like save
Yes,
the environment sort of a thing. And then now here we are with,
literally there
yeah.
in real life. I think now people have to start considering their homes to become small medical units. Like they have to, like that's literally what they are doing, right? They're hoarding on oxygen cylinders and getting all ventilators and everything for their houses because they know that they cannot go to a hospital and get medical care. They have to do it by themselves. That is how bad the system is. The government has spent money on building statues and other buildings and other stuff and not more hospitals. They
Mm,
have spent money on doing unnecessary things, and that's what the people have said, right? We have never questioned when they did it. We never stopped and questioned them that why are you doing it. Yes, we have protested that oh my god you're doing this, and we have put up like social media posts and everything, but nobody has done anything for it. Like don't, we want our money to be spent in this way. Nobody has done it, and we are facing the consequences of it. That is the
exactly.
sad reality.
Now it's just like they're eating our money and not doing any good of it. It's just,
Absolutely.
I mean, at this point, it's like we'll have to do something eventually. Just like, no, we're not going to do this. Like, this is what we get,
Yeah.
and we live
Yeah.
here. If we
Yes,
are,
exactly. We have to voice our disagreement. We just can't take things on face value. If you're saying we'll do this, no, we need something else. Like you do it, then we'll see whether it's going to happen or not. It has to become like that. I mean, there has to be a stronger people's voice, which is unfortunately not there. Media has been bought. The all the places where the Supreme Court, or rather the judiciary, is also under the control of the government. So then where else do we go? What else can we do?
yeah,
Really don't know. I mean, today's discussion was very. I mean,
it was good. I mean, random.
yeah, it was random for sure. But I mean, if you think about it, there was no silver lining to our conversation. It's really really morbid and really really dark right now. I really hope next time that we have such a random conversation, it's better and we
Better.
speak of
Yeah.
more hopeful things rather
I
than
mean,
speak of such
even
more.
my mom was saying, like, how every other country came out of it, we'll eventually come out of it. And then at that moment, I'm just like, I don't know, because I don't want to expect that we
I
will come
don't
out of it. Because
exactly,
then if
exactly.
we don't, then I will be like, we expected better. Because at this point, no one expects anything out of India. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
true.
crumbling. So
That's
we're
very
not,
true.
I'm just not expecting anything. Like, as far
That
as I
is,
mean, okay, fine, we'll take our precautions. Like we're not meeting our friends when just at home and all these video calling and all that stuff. But
that's fine. Yeah, exactly. But
I mean, and this is the age for like like I mean, teenagers or like people finishing last year
You know,
or
for socializing and, you know, kind of getting better, you know, kind of exploring and finding out about themselves, about others, and all of it.
Mhm.
That exactly. I mean, people's childhoods are ruined. People's
Exactly.
adolescence is being ruined. Um, us adults, like when we were at that pre-adulthood phase, you know, we always had these worries of what future are we going to build. Now that we don't even have a future to think about, and we go like, what was it all for?
Yeah.
That's what we are doing. And well, our parents are literally worried about uh,
Our future also, like where
exactly,
is my child going to go sort of a thing.
exactly. So yeah,
I mean, and for so many people, it's like, this was the year where, I would go here and there. And, for some, it was going to be like, it was a very special moment sort of things which have just been
exactly,
cut off.
exactly,
I mean, my cousin also, like, she didn't attend her 12th graduation because they kept exams offline, but they kept graduation online. So she's like, I got irritated, I'm not sitting there for that. I'm just like, that
exactly.
was
What's
literally
the
our
point
last
waiting
year
for
of
it?
school, and, COVID just had to take it away. That
Exactly,
was so
exactly.
tough to, like, listen to.
It is really sad. It is really sad. My sister spent one entire semester already. She's like, I still don't know half my classmates. I still haven't experienced the college experience. I
Mm.
mean, I'm studying, yes, I get it, but then all of this also matters, right? I mean,
Exactly.
because that also helps with your personality development.
Mm.
It's what helps you to become who you are, and that is completely removed, and it's going to really have an impact, you know, later
It
on in life.
will. Yeah. Even right now, it's like most of my teachers that taught me in 11th, so like obviously few of them left, and one of them was a new teacher, my psychology teacher.
Right.
So she was like, honestly, by far by now being in the same school, like my third year, she was literally like the best teacher ever. Like
Okay.
just so. I mean, so she taught sociology and psychology.
Right.
And she called up one day, she's like, I'm leaving school. And I was like, so, I was shocked because we didn't even get a personal class, like face to face
Face
class.
to face. Exactly.
I
Exactly.
mean, we probably met for like assignment submission. And then, that was it. We never spoke for too long. It was nothing.
Right. Exactly.
Like, a teacher, like, or even like a really good teacher can just change your life. And
Yeah, even that is even that interaction is lost. I mean, we still remember our school teachers, you know, who have had that impact on our life because we spent so much time with them. They're
exactly.
almost equivalent to having as role models and as parents, right? And that is also taken away. That is also gone now.
Mm.
It's very sad state. Everywhere you look, it's despair. I mean, there is no silver lining anywhere. It's as bad as that. That's how bad the
I
things
mean,
are.
they've got to the point where just be happy you're waking up every day. And like, I said,
Yes,
I mean,
that
it
is
got to
literally,
that point. I mean, that is
yeah,
definitely there. I mean, to have like your loved ones and all that
that
is there.
is, yeah,
But
actually,
this is not where we were expecting to come.
no,
Like, we were
no,
expecting, and obviously, I mean, same as your sister, I don't even know any of my classmates. I have like two of my old, like my last batchmate friends. Like, that's
right,
all I know. And the others, I mean, they don't like socialize. I mean, some people they might have their own, the anxiety or antisocial or, they
right,
have issues. So like to talk and to get to know them better, like that could be.
exactly, exactly. There's, I mean, we really, and you know, now even the hope and pray bit is, it seems futile, you know. I mean that doesn't seem like an option anymore because what do we hope and pray for, and what are we going to get? Because definitely nobody imagined to things to get this bad. So let's see.
Mhm.
There's no option but to witness it as the days go by.
And
And
definitely, I mean, it's weird to think of because no one saw a pandemic coming during this specific time.
yeah, and in this way, affecting it in this way. I mean, usually when we watch about pandemics, we usually see that, you know, by the time the vaccine is out and then, you know, everybody is vaccinated and things go back to normal on a regular basis. But this got worse.